Okay, so I didn't want to make this video, but that means I have to. 3 things that I've learned coming back to Bali. And by the way, I'm staying in this really beautiful place off a beaten path. Nobody's here. It's like $9 a night. Randomly found it. So I guess here's where we'll make the video. First thing I've learned, this is after coming back to Bali after I lived here for 18 months. I left for 2.5 years. Oh wow. And now I'm just coming back. And I've been here for about a month and a half. And we're gonna walk to the beach, actually, so I can show you a little bit. I say the first thing that I've learned coming back to Bali is that change is inevitable. And we only really complain about change when we don't like it. As I've come back to Bali this time, so much has changed. Literally so much has changed. I was here during a very, very, very unique period in all of, I think, Bali's history, because there was really nobody here. You had like the island to yourself. Like there was no traffic anywhere if you look at any of my older videos, and it was peaceful. What does that mean? When I went to Canggu Beach was like this. Like that little amount of people there. That quiet almost all the time except during the sunset. So for me coming back and seeing all these people and seeing all these new buildings, and although people here were complaining about, you know, they didn't have money and they didn't have food and everything, when I actually really talked to people, they did have it. A lot of the people I talked to, they just didn't have the extra money to do the things that they're used to doing. But all of their basic needs were taken care of, because if you know, here in Bali, they have their, they all don't like pay rent and stuff like that here, because they all live in compounds with their families of 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 generations. And when I come here now, I look around, I'm just like, so much has changed, and it's almost like this disappointing feeling. Anyone who's been back here during the period, you know what it's like. You know what it's like going on the shortcut now. It used to be just rice fields. Now, the shortcut used to look like this. Now it's perfectly smooth streets. There used to be maybe 2 places to eat on the shortcut, little local places. Now there's about 30 places on the shortcut, one of being local, everything else being like a nice restaurant or spa. And I see the tourists now looking around at everything. Now there's such like a look at me kind of mentality here, which I really just like. It wasn't like that during 2020 and 2021. Like anyone who was here and stayed, even when they warned us they were shutting the airport down, you saw all these big people, these, for me, the ones who always bragged and did this, they found out that all of a sudden that things are going to shut down, they're going to be stuck here, and they ran from here. People ran and left. Like, I'm talking about people left their homes, they left their scooters just in front of the airport, they left their dogs randomly in the streets. Like, this is what I saw. This is what I saw. So for me, it's like now they come here and people just kind of walk around just feeling like, yeah, I'm the best. Look, when those are some of the same people who ran away, and that's what kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. It's all personal in my mind, and I know, but I like looking at it that way, because you saw what the real was, and there's only a few of us, and I don't see really any of those people anymore. So the first thing was, what did I think that change was going to be? It's like being here, it's like, what is that sound? Goodness, and by the way, look at this area that I'm in. Pagi. I'm like literally in a jungle, guys. This is what it would have Bali looked like probably before, or definitely before. And I say that because change is inevitable. All that stuff was meant to change. Change is such an important period, and I've learned to embrace it. Why was that just thrown in my face the whole time? Because as I've told you guys, Bali is one of the biggest mirrors of places that I've ever been to. Because it doesn't take much for you to get here and realize you can be more of whatever you want to be. And if you want to be more of the same, Bali will give that to you. I've said this many times. If you're an alcoholic and you come here, you can be even more of an alcoholic. Alcohol's cheaper, more parties, more people passing through. You know, 80% of the people here now are here to take pictures. That's it. Here to take pictures and a good time. So it's easy for you to become whoever you want to be, to whatever group of people you want, and then change people, because people are always changing here. So that being said, embracing change is important. Something that I've learned and I studied for a while is the intertestonial period. And is that thunder? I think that's thunder. I have a long ride today, so we're gonna wrap this up. Intertestonial period. Intertestonial period was the period between the Old Testament and the New Testament. If you know anything about the Bible, you don't have to be religious, but if you know about the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. And in order for the New Testament to have taken place and for Jesus to have walked on the roads to go there, they needed to be built. And that 400 years in between, okay, that 400 years in between the Old Testament and New Testament is when all the roads were built. All the things were set up. Everything was set up to which people might not have liked that change. It would have been construction everywhere. You would have heard all this stuff. But that was to set up the roads, which I can go into a whole 3-hour talk on that. But with that being said, for me to make this video here, there had to be an intertestonial period here for them to build the roads from all the way in Canggu, all the way from the airport to Canggu, then Canggu all the way up here so I could get here just to make this video for you. Even this had to be carved out. And I realized sometimes that intertestonial period isn't pretty. It isn't beautiful, but it's meant to be there to take us to the other side. And although we can get mad and get irritated, once we see it all once it's finished, it's oftentimes more beautiful than we imagined. And it often sets up other things. You know, one of the things I saw when I spoke to local people was that they didn't know how they're gonna make it through the pandemic. Everyone kept saying, oh, the border's gonna open next week. And they're like, we don't know if we can make it for another week. Those same people, they made it through another year. They learned so much from it. And I'm not saying what is the right way to do it, but I realize that change is inevitable. We don't complain about change when we like it. And if you don't like it, there's something about it. Like I say, Bali will bring out the mirrors for you. And it's taught me to embrace the change. That's what it is. If you want to keep referring to the past Luke, you can. You want to keep comparing it to the past Luke, you can. But at the same time, don't complain when you don't like how it is now, because all you're doing is looking at it from the past. If you would have never had that perspective on the past and you looked at it for what it is right now, you probably would feel very different about how you're seeing everything right now. And this is what kind of replays in my mind. And that's the first lesson. I hope y'all are getting something from this. I literally wrote it down because it's that important that I was like, I gotta make this video, because I made one last time I was here. I think I was wearing this same kind of shirt too in the video. But that'll be the first thing that I've learned here. And the second thing, which has been a really hard lesson for me, and I'm still trying to let it flow through me, is that what got you here wasn't meant to keep you there. Like, what got me here wasn't meant to keep me here. What do I mean by that? We always hear what got you there won't keep you there. No, what got you there wasn't meant to keep you there. But you're trying to do what kept you there. I mean, you're trying to do what got you there, and you're trying to keep doing that. I gotta keep giving up and keep giving up things, I'm gonna float higher and higher. And yes, sometimes that's true, but sometimes you have to understand that as you let something out, something else has to come in. Even a sinking boat, as you throw out the water, oxygen's coming in the boat. There's more space in the boat. Now you can throw out 100 pounds of water from your sinking boat, but if you put in a 200-pound person, you're gonna have some problems. What got you there it wasn't meant to keep you there. And figuring it out what's meant to keep you there, that's where it comes to. That's what all this leads to. And I say that because, you know, when I left Bali, it was kind of in a rush. And I thought I was gonna be back in Bali within about 30 days. I'm like, I spent 18 months here. I'll be back in 30 days, no problem. Because of rules and regulations, wasn't able to come right back in. And then life kind of took over and I went on a different path. And what I then realized was that, okay, most people don't know this, but we were still supporting people after we left. So after we left, we were feeding probably 50 people, at least 50 people a week for a few months, until I actually honestly had problems getting into the app that I use to pay people here in Indonesia to buy the stuff and make the stuff. And at the same time, I kept my apartment here. So I was still renting my guest house I ended up renting that for almost 2 years, even after I wasn't here anymore. And kind of a way in my mind to like, I can support the family, help out. But more importantly is I left my stuff there. So when I left, I'm like, I have, 4 pairs of flip-flops, my boarding shorts, my electronics. I still have my guitar, my AirPods, like iPad, all this stuff. I'll leave it here and I'll just come back and get it. And, fast forward to now, as soon as I landed, before I got here, I messaged the people who were renting my place, because about 6 months before I came here, they asked me to stop renting because they're like, you're paying so much money and you're not even here. We'll just hold your stuff in a room, and then when you come back, we'll give it to you. And I was like, that's fine, appreciate it. What turned out when I got here, that all my stuff, everything that they were holding in the room, all of it got moldy. I didn't see it get moldy, that's what they told me. Okay, I don't even know what to believe anymore, but it's okay. And it was just all gone. They're like, we don't have the bag anymore. I'm like, you don't have my bag that had like my drone, like my computer stuff, like my AirPods, my Osprey bag, all that stuff molded with no trace. And I felt sad because I'm like, yo, this was set up. I left everything here in Bali set up, so when I came back, I just stepped into my life that I had here. But that wasn't meant. It wasn't meant. It wasn't meant to keep me here. But I thought it was, because if I had it here, that would make it easier to start again. There's something that lived here that, thank goodness, everything was okay with it. But I realized when I came here that I could just get everything that I needed. There was this need that this huge loss that I thought I experienced. I don't know what to do. I don't think I can do it. Like I like this stuff was supposed to be here. My papers was like all this stuff. But it's okay. It wasn't meant to keep you here. Maybe that little thing that you thought was there was meant to just keep the desire in you to go back to where you needed to go, to then find what you needed to find when you got there. Made me look at it from a whole different perspective. Pagi. Yeah, not a lot of tourists staying out in this area. And that's a real realization, which maybe me articulating now sounds so like, oh, so poetic. This guy's so smart. But these were challenging thoughts. The way that I'm getting these thoughts to flow from my mind wasn't how it went inside. Okay? I want you to imagine a storage unit, messy, dirty, stuff is everywhere. But now someone takes it out and organizes it for a garage sale, and you're like, oh, that's so clean, everything. No, it wasn't. Because to get all this stuff out, it was really messy, and I was really frustrated and sad, and getting here and seeing the traffic in Canggu and going to see my friends, and now they're working so much and packed full of people, and I was like, wow, you guys are making so much money. And they're like, yeah, so many people now. At the same time, I thought about it. I'm like, you guys got 3 times more people than when I came here last time. Are you guys making 3 times more money? They're making the same amount they were when nobody was there. So all this stuff started to just get to me a little bit, which leads me to my third one, because I gotta get out of here before the sun comes out. And the third lesson, and probably the most important lesson that I learned here, and I'm learning here and still have to learn, is that everything is leading you back to you. Everything that you're doing right now is leading you back to you. Now, you might not know what you looks like. I might not know what me looks like, because you think you do, but then you get in situations where all of a sudden it's like, well, I've never been in this situation where I have no Wi-Fi, it's raining, I'm outside, my hotel's fully booked. Let's see what I got. Leading you back to you. I looked around at all the different people here in Bali. You know, tattoos, all these symbols on their face and on their necks and on their backs. You know, doing yoga every morning, breath work, meditation, neural hacking, cold pool plunges, going to the gym every day, eating clean, detoxing, juice fast, getting their face done, daily massages, holistic work. trauma work, inner child work, going for foot reflexology, hydrocolonic cleansing, enemas, going and getting your teeth fixed, whitened, going to parties, going out, meditating after the cold pool in the gym, having deep conscious talks with people, taking new courses and programs and creating your own, finding your community online and off, finally reaching back out to the family, connecting with people who you have great moments with, living for the nights you can't remember, with the people you won't forget, as Drake says. What's all this for? Doing your gratitudes in the morning, writing in your journal. What is all this for? What is this for? You do that, I do this. What makes what you do different than what they do? I get it. It all leads back to you. We all have our own separate paths to go back to us. Every single one of us. They all look different. It converges and splits away. If we're trying to make it back to the ocean right now, there's many different paths. Some marked, some unmarked. And yes, I can say, follow me, I know the way to the beach. Someone else, follow me, I know the way to the beach. Another person, follow me, I know this way to the beach. No, follow me, I know the best way. Oh, no, the path is bumpy ahead. I know a smoother path. Get down there. Hey, let's have some drinks and chill out for a little bit. Like, there's always paths. But where is it all leading? Where's the coincidence? The dogs, follow me, I know where to go. I know where to go. What's it all leading to? Because you can wear yourself out. Become an old dog, walking around in the heat, wandering around, as I find myself doing here. Very metaphor for my life. Find yourself wandering around, where to go, what to do. Then you just get embraced in wandering, but then you got to wake up and remember the time is still ticking. It's all to lead you back to you. Now, whether you wait till you're 20 years old, 40, 60, 75, 85, the time still is ticking. That it's all meant to be back to you. Not for you to become this fine-tuned, perfectly smooth rock, because I agree with kind of what I heard Jordan Peterson say it a while ago. If we created the perfect society, we then would spend the next part of our lives destroying it. Because we need that chaos. If everything was perfect, I'm telling you, you wouldn't like it. You'd be trying to figure out what to do next. You'd be trying to figure it out, which would probably lead to misery. But I've realized being here that it's all meant to lead me back to me. So everything is just reflection showing it back to me. I know we've heard it, you've heard it before, but this is like a real thing. Like it's leading you back to you. Who is you? So if it's all leading us back to us, then we can be us where no matter where we are, because we're always there. As I tell my clients and people that I've worked with, and then you guys who have done calls with me, if you've ever said on the call, I just can't wait to get to Bali because then I'll be like better and I feel it's calling me. You are calling you. And if the only way you can get to you is to go through something, or whoa, I don't know what that was. Okay, the universe don't want me to tell you that. If you calling you, if it needs to go through something else to get you to see you, it will do it. And Bali loves the energy. Bali loves the energy of those trying to figure it out. But Bali, I feel now that Bali takes the energy of those who come here and refuse to face themselves. You refuse to face yourself, that energy fuels the island. And it literally will take your youth here. Something I've just realized. People have overstayed their time. They start to look older quicker. Those who are meant to be here for a longer time, you see them looking younger and younger without any kind of work done on their face or body. Unnatural. It literally like has the reverse effect, but it loves that figuring it out energy. And although now it's changed to where it's more of like a look at me society in certain areas around the tourist places, local areas haven't changed. Or they have, but you change and you adapt so well with them, it just feels like normal. So those are the lessons I've learned from living here for almost 2 months. I lived here for 18 months before, all during the pandemic, saw it all. Came here when it was packed full of people. I was here when things started to shut down and people were kind of leaving, not figuring it out. I was here also when they started to lock things down and people started to freak out. I was also here when they announced the airport was closing and no one knew what to do with the visas, so everyone left. Then I was here when they shut things down in the local areas and people were scared of us. When I'd walk around, people would walk by and walk like covering their face. Then I was here when everyone was getting scammed for their visas, trying to figure out what to do, not knowing who to trust. I was here for that too. Then I was here for the 8-month period where every single week they said they were going to open the borders. But yet when you look at the month of March 2021, everyone celebrated because 27 tourists made it in. I was here during that period. I was here during the period where I talked to probably hundreds of you guys. Maybe not, yeah, probably hundreds. Booking calls with you guys to help you guys to figure things out. Most of y'all went on to become clients of mine. And if not, some of you guys we managed to get you set up and I actually ran into you here in Bali. I was here for all that. And the things that I told you I learned in Bali are the things that I'm learning now. Everything sets you up for what's next. And now everything you've done in the past isn't meant to bring to all the stuff you have carried in the past isn't meant to go with you to the next step. But everything you've learned about what you have carried is meant to help you to decide which of these things you're going to narrow down and take with you for the next. And it's not everything. It's not half the things, aka half the nouns. Noun, person, place, or thing. Very few. And if you had nothing, just like in Bali, if you came here with nothing but some boarding shorts, flip-flops, and a t-shirt, you'd be okay. Because you got you, no matter where you go, you got your back. And with that being said, from here in Villa Matanai, there's actually two. I'm staying in this one. I hope you got something out of today. Didn't really want to record a video this early because I got to hit the road. But I felt like this needed to be shared. Not sure where I'm going to put it in, what order I'm going to put this in. But it needs to be shared because so many lessons, so many things you can learn. And the more you learn, the more you can pass on and share. And for anyone who's lacking like fulfillment, feeling that fulfillment feeling, it's more than likely because you're not sharing like what it is that you need to share. And you're keeping it inside. And it's that keeping it in. What up, bro? And it's that keeping it inside that kind of keeps you kind of in that loop. There's another guy, he's been traveling here for 15 years. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I really hope that you've got something from this video. It's not about time or money. It's about you. About you and about the resources you have. Oh my goodness, there's a frog in my room. How did that get there? Well, if ever there was a time to go, I think it's right now. But with that being said, from here with a random frog in my room, and my room is a mess, I know it. I'm out of here. Want the best for you. You need to talk, book a call below. I'll leave that open. Appreciate you guys being here. That's what I've learned in Bali this time. Hopefully there's something there that you can take and run with, share, and help someone else with. See ya in the next video.